The Korvathi fleet emerged from quantum slip space above Earth like a swarm of steel locusts, blotting out the stars. Commander Zekthor stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion's Fist, his four eyes gleaming with predatory satisfaction as he surveyed the blue marble rotating peacefully below. "Scan complete, Commander," his tactical officer reported, mandibles clicking in what passed for amusement among his species. No orbital defense platforms. No energy shields. Their weapon systems are primitive, chemical propulsion, kinetic projectiles. They call them missiles. Zekthor's thorax rumbled with laughter. Missiles? How quaint. The intelligence was correct. This species is ripe for harvest. 13 billion souls, and not a single plasma cannon to defend them. The Korvathi had conquered 47 worlds in their expansion across the Orion Arm. Each victory followed the same pattern. Overwhelming force, swift capitulation, and integration into the Empire. Earth would be no different. Their reconnaissance drones had mapped every military installation, cataloged every weapon, analyzed every defense strategy. The humans were fractured, divided into nearly 200 separate nations constantly bickering among themselves. They would fall within a solar cycle. "Open a channel to the planet," Zekthor commanded. "Let us offer them the courtesy of surrender before the culling begins." The view screen flickered to life, displaying a hastily assembled gathering of human leaders. They looked appropriately terrified, Zekthor noted with satisfaction. Small, fragile creatures with only 2 eyes and laughably thin exoskeletons. "People of Earth," he began, his translator rendering his words into their countless primitive languages. "I am Commander Zekthor of the Korvathi Eternal Empire. Your world has been selected for integration. Surrender your governments and resources, and your species will be preserved as a labor class. Resist and face extinction. You have 1 rotation of your planet to decide." The transmission ended. Zekthor settled into his command throne, confident in the inevitable outcome. 20 hours later, the human response arrived. A single word: no. Zekthor's mandibles spread in what his species considered a smile. Admirable stupidity. Tactical begin orbital bombardment. Target their major population centers. Make it surgical. We need the infrastructure intact. The fleet's weapons charged, exotic energies gathering like gathering storms. Below on Earth, sirens wailed across every continent. Families huddled in shelters. Leaders made final speeches. Some prayed, some wept. But in 1,000 hidden bunkers in hardened mountain complexes in submarine depths and Arctic wastes, other humans went to work with grim determination. The first Korvathi bombardment lance struck Beijing. The beam, capable of vaporizing a city block, simply stopped. A crimson hemisphere of energy materialized around the city, absorbing the attack completely. Then another appeared over New York, Moscow, Mumbai, São Paulo, Johannesburg. Zekthor shot upright in his throne. What sorcery is this? Those shields, those readings are impossible. They're generating energy fields that shouldn't exist at their technological level. "Commander," his science officer's voice trembled. "I'm detecting massive power spikes across the planet. They're activating something vast. Destroy them before they can deploy whatever weapon." The sky burned red. Not the sky above Earth, the sky around the Korvathi fleet. Space itself seemed to ignite, as if reality had been set aflame. Zekthor's instruments screamed warnings as an impossible network of energy became visible. Satellites, thousands upon thousands of them, all activating in perfect synchronization. But these weren't the crude communication satellites the reconnaissance drones had documented. "They were decoys," Zekthor whispered, understanding dawning too late. All of them. Decoys hiding the real network. From Earth's surface, from orbital platforms that had appeared seemingly from nowhere, from weapon stations that had been disguised as debris and civilian infrastructure. Humanity's true defense grid came online. Project Crimson Dawn, 60 years in the making. Built in absolute secrecy while humanity played the role of primitive, fractious species squabbling over resources. The Red Energy Matrix, utilizing principles that wouldn't be discovered by the Korvathi for another millennium, enveloped the entire fleet. Ships that had traveled faster than light found their engines frozen. Weapons that could crack planets refused to fire. Life support systems began failing one by one. "Impossible," Zekthor gasped, his breathing becoming labored. "You're primitives. You have no shields, no advanced weapons." Our intelligence, a transmission interrupted him. A human appeared on screen, an elderly woman with silver hair and ice in her eyes. Her uniform bore unfamiliar insignia. "Commander Zekthor," she said calmly. "I am Director Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Initiative. You're correct that we had no advanced weapons 70 years ago, but humanity has one advantage you failed to account for. We're very good at pretending to be weak while we sharpen our knives. Your reconnaissance drones saw what we wanted you to see. For 7 decades, while you were watching our public missiles and tanks, we were building this, not in orbit where you could detect it, but in pieces, launched disguised as garbage, as outdated satellites, as commercial ventures. We let you think we were divided because united. We were forging the greatest defense network in this sector of the galaxy. You came here expecting sheep," she continued, her voice hardening. "You found wolves. Your fleet is now caught in a quantum stasis web. Your ships cannot move, cannot fight, cannot escape. You have one option: unconditional surrender." Zekthor felt his multiple hearts sinking. Around him, his bridge crew sat paralyzed both by fear and by the energy field disrupting their neural functions. Through the viewports, he could see other ships in the fleet trapped like insects in amber, suspended in the red glow of humanity's fury. "We could destroy you," Director Chen added, "but humanity prefers to be merciful to those who surrender. You'll be escorted out of our system, your weapons dismantled and sent home with a message for your empire. Earth is not defenseless. Earth was never defenseless. We were simply patient. And should your empire ever return," she smiled, but there was no warmth in it, "you'll find we've had even more time to prepare. Humanity doesn't threaten. Humanity promises." The transmission ended. The Korvathi fleet, pride of an empire that had conquered 47 worlds, sat helpless while small human vessels approached to accept their surrender. As Commander Zekthor was escorted from his own bridge in restraints, he looked back at Earth through the viewport, at the crimson web still burning bright in the void, and understood the true nature of the species his empire had tried to harvest. Humans didn't build walls and wait for attacks. They built traps and invited their enemies in. The sky had burned red, and the Korvathi had learned what 47 other species before them had failed to discover. Underestimating humanity wasn't just a mistake. It was a death sentence.